All right. A little sip of water for the cue to take. Oh, glasses off. Okay, we're live, and I have my bro Ted on the phone because just like when you're recording, tracking, mixing, it's more fun to have other people there and telling you that your snare drum sucks. So, what mic should I buy? Is the title of this video, and so I'm just going to riff here, like as if you were a customer. So I've been selling locally for 15 years, and by the way, this isn't the mic I'm using to record right now. We're just listening to the Magical iPhone, which is one of my mentors taught me is a great room mic. So what mic should I buy? Well, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? Is this for vocals? Are you recording drums? There's a lot of questions that I would ask before attempting to even guess at what mic you would need. I've been selling 15 years here locally, and now I encourage you to call me anywhere in the U.S. Outside of the U.S., sorry, if you're seeing this, I'm not allowed to sell outside the U.S., but I'm an official dealer for Heiserman, Josephson, Telefunken, AEA, Microtech FL. Did I leave any out, Ted? Neumann? Josephson, Neumann.
Oh yeah, Neumann. I've heard of that.
Yeah. And so, what separates me, or why you should maybe call 303-903-9311? What maybe separates the rest of the pack for me is I'm not selling microphones that are not the answer for anyone. So it's not about having a store and selling everything. It's about being knowledgeable about Manley Labs. What makes this shop different is that I agonize over every single sale. I want to make sure Chandler, sorry. I agonize over every single sale. I have been for the entirety. What the procedure is here locally is my guys demo mics, and then they can test up for months before they make a damn decision, and then they're very confident with their decision. I believe after doing this in person for so many years, I would be a good judge, and have been here locally, like without a demo, recommending a microphone for the best sound for what you're trying to achieve, especially for artists that describe their voice. And another thing is to curate the collection, which is another, I guess, counter narrative to what salesmen do typically. You might call and ask about a mic, and they're like, oh yeah, I have that. But it's like, what mics do you currently have? And just like a compressor, if you have you're just starting out with your compressors and you have something that's fast, and you may not want something else that's fast. You may want like a tube compressor, as an example. With microphones, especially with drums, what you already have, and to if you're watching this, and obviously I sell very nice microphones. If you're watching this and you're just starting out, and what I tell everyone is you can get there with an SM57, and I'll just call it out here on YouTube. When you buy the 400 and 8,000, depending on the manufacturer, not gonna throw shade on specifically, but when you're buying the condenser mics, it's really I would say generally a waste of money until you get to a microphone that really makes a difference. Ted, feel free to riff on me here because the purpose of the shop is also to be very moral, do a lot of listening and research, but also to be extremely moral with everything I do, because I'm not trying to um, just insert myself in in the equation, because we have a world full of salesmen. So I, after a lot of soul searching, like, what are you doing, Tick? You're just selling gear. And it's like, you're not making anything. And it's like, yeah, that's right. I am a salesman. But my goal is to find the answers myself in the industry and find out, which microphones make a difference. So at a minimum, I'm not selling brands that I've rejected because of hideous audible distortion. So, yeah, Ted, any feedback?
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. There's a lot of cheap mics that are really cheap, and there's even some expensive mics that are dubious. But one of the things that's important with microphones that people don't realize, I think it's really important, is build quality.
Yeah.
This came up in social media. The post I was looking at, and someone says, "Why does that matter? It's just about the sound." Well, for one thing, if my response was, if there's St. Neumann, the most, the biggest name in studio microphones, right? If they had for the last, oh man, I don't know, 70, 80 years, been building microphones with bad build quality, we wouldn't be talking about Neumanns.
Yeah,
Just be some other brand.
right, and I don't know, hopefully the audio will pick that up. I mean, this is a control room. I don't take clients, by the way, because I sell gear, but I record the guys that I work with. But hopefully you can hear Ted. And that's a really good point, is I often get approached by customers and they'll say, oh, can you repair like something that I don't sell, nor would I sell under any circumstances? And something went wrong with their microphone. And I'm like, oh, that's a pity, brother. I'm sorry that happened to you, Uh, maybe I can direct you to someone locally who can fix your microphone. But if the microphones that I'm proud to represent and stand behind the brand are going to typically last you 60 years. They're not going to be like 6, 7 years down the road and the capsule's bad. And and I'm not going to spend any time like debating about microphones. There's plenty of channels that can talk about that, but I totally embrace and have heard and can turn my back and identify the BS mics without you saying take one, take two, or whatever, or double blind test, or whatever you want to say. There's a difference, obviously, to people who know. If you want to know more about that subject, feel free to call the shop, PMT Audio. But I'm not going to spend my time on YouTube like arguing analog versus digital, or do microphones make a difference? Do all preamps sound the same? That's ridiculous. If that were true, then you would go to a big studio and they would have X instead of Y, but they have Y, don't they? So, yeah, that's a very good point, Ted. Build quality. I'm so glad Ted's on the phone. And it sucks being in the shop. It's 11 o'clock, and it sucks being here alone doing this. So I really appreciate that Ted would call in. But yeah, build quality. So let's answer the question, what mic should you buy? So I'll have videos where I'm highlighting certain microphones, but generally speaking, it depends on your application. And so oftentimes with artists, they may say, well, I have this mic, like I have a Telefunken U47 or a 251, and I'm looking for something, XY. Of course, nothing can compare, and you're welcome to fly out here and test all these mics, but Nothing really replicates demoing the mics in person on your voice. But because of doing this for years and not clouding my mind or the marketplace with mics that aren't important, a ribbon mic from AEA may be, a good alternative to something like that, or a Chandler Red, or a U47, or Heiserman uh, versus Telefunken. So I guess vocal mics are really the hardest without testing to really ascertain what's the right mic for that particular artist or producer. Producers are easier because you're recording, uh, hopefully, large amounts of people. And so it's a way easier to recommend, like, okay, you have this, so maybe check out that. Maybe get a U47, get a C12, get a ribbon mic, get an SM57. Uh, Obviously, and everyone knows that, but I like saying it because it's a way better microphone than a lot of the crap uh, that's in the mid tier, where the people that make all these microphones, like Chandler or Heiserman or Telefunken or Josephson, they've sacrificed their entire uh, time on this planet testing and building to the highest quality the microphones that they manufacture. And then you have, and I'm just going to speak plainly, like if you were in the room here at my shop, but it's not the same as someone who's just trying to interject themselves into the market and sell anything to anyone. Um, and certainly on the retail side, that's also the reason that I'm so high on my own shop, and what I think differentiates me is because I started out right. I was in a band. I was the ding dong who was tasked with recording the band because I had the most, I guess, I stepped forward like an idiot instead of concentrating on my instrument. And I went to the music store and they sold me stuff that was just crap. And it took me years to find out like there's a difference. And then I quit my day job and went to Nashville and had a fantastic experience there with uh, uh, one of the best mentors that I've had in any vocation. And he's become a great friend as well. And I love the guy. I don't want to name names on YouTube. I don't know if that's right or not. If he sees this video, which he probably will, maybe he'll say, "You couldn't say my name." But I also don't want to name drop. And this is long form video that some of you like, and some people are like, "Just tell me what mic to buy." I've done that. It's a horrible experience. I've had people come in and just like, "I don't want, just tell me which one to buy." So that's rare, but it happens. And then that person typically doesn't have the curiosity or interest, and then he'll give me feedback on the mic, which is totally inaccurate. Not that it's bad, but just like his uh, impressions, and it's like, well, you're not serious about learning or the excitement and the passion of audio, which is another thing I preach here: is dream big. Um, and do something with your life. We only have so much time left on the planet. So, uh, Ted, any thoughts on where to go from here? I don't think I'm going to edit this. I'm just going to post it like this because it's kind of like hanging out at the shop, and I think
Yeah.
it's more valuable than an edited video.
Yeah, yeah. I do have a couple other thoughts. And getting back to the build quality thing and quality control.
Thank you, brother.
So yeah, the build quality can affect the sound of the mic. Um, if there's resonances, again, because maybe quality control is not that strict, the use of cheaper materials, things like that. the school that I teach at, we have not going to mention the brand of clone, as they say, of a very, very famous tube mic. And boy, it's absolutely dreadful. And I think part of it is this company's quality control. We just kind of got it done, but the thing is kind of flimsy. And switches, you know, on microphones on some of the less expensive mics are flimsy, and even the mid-brand, some of the mid-price mics, flimsy, prone to breakage. You're not sure if the switch is engaged, or you know which polar pattern am I on, things like that. So you know, all these things really affect the quality of the mic and how you use the mic. So
Right,
yeah,
and that gets
like I said,
into the like, is there a difference? And I guess like it's the same like with my views on YouTube. The majority of people will have already signed out at this point, which is fine. They're not my people. And while we're on that subject, I'm not interested in having thousands of customers. Ideally, I would like a few intimate relationships with this new endeavor of reaching out to the world, meaning the U.S. And then hopefully, as I riff more with these videos, there'll be a little bit more. There's no script here, but I want it to be an experience like we're here having a beer, sparkling water. In this case, I'm having sparkling water, or I make coffee in my French press, and we talk about mics. Not to, you know, it doesn't really add a lot of value to and I hope that the people who hang out and watch the entire video are the type of people that are genuinely either curious or they obviously work. I have kids, and when I say kids, people in their 20s, they're working professionals. They buy the high quality microphones from me. They come back here. We listen to their recordings. We listen to their you know, their mixes. This is a shop where you hang out, and it truly is community. And so when I, you know, listen to their mixes, and the person on the phone right now is pretty harsh with me on my mixes, and but that's the key, right? Because it doesn't do anyone any good if you're like, oh yeah, man, that's killer, you're doing such a great job. It's like, what microphone is that? Like, or that room. In your search to be an audio engineer, if you're facing constant criticism, it makes you better. And while we're on that subject, it's important to push back against people that are mentoring you. I found this with Ted, and I guess not really anyone else, but if you push back, and you think, oh, I'm going somewhere with this lame BS pushback, and then you get shut down because when people know what they're doing, their mentorship is going to rise to your pushback. In other words, you're not just going to come from some crazy place and you have some cornball idea, and then you're going to outrun the people who have a lot of experience under very high pressure, platinum gold level material. So
yeah, but, you know, Dick, you'll push back sometimes, and you will. Oh gosh, what am I trying to say? You'll give you a reason. You'll think of the intent behind what you're doing, and it might be something I don't realize, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool then. Yeah, okay, carry on. Keep going down that path. You know, intention is so important.
Yeah, rarely do I come up with a nugget. Hey, so we'll wrap it up here. Which microphone should I buy? Let's just go down the list. And again, I guess I could have like displayed each microphone, which was probably a good one. And that's what's cool about YouTube is I can delete the videos if I come up with something better. But maybe this added value to someone out there, or just to introduce the shop and a little bit of the philosophy behind it. No one really gives a crap about your story necessarily, but so this was kind of a it's the first video that I'm doing with Ted on the phone, and maybe I'll call manufacturers and get them on the phone. Although by the time I get around to making videos, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. So in case it wasn't clear, I'm an official dealer for all the all the mics that really matter. So Josephson, extremely accurate, stellar, incomparable with so many instrumental applications. This particular one with vocals is kind of like a cool C700S, kind of like a cool benchmark. Like you can use this mic and then you can judge everything else against it. It's if anything, that's a great reason to have one. But
No, that mic is amazing. I recorded actually it was a client of yours in his home studio with that mic, and he was, oh man, almost 2 feet away, in a not great sounding, garage, and still that mic sounded stellar.
that's one of the things that's amazing about this mic is that it is rather room dependent because of the 3 outputs and then 4 on mix down. It is rather room independent. It's crazy how I've taken it out and demoed it in a variety of scenarios. Oh, and then our friend, and I guess I can say some names, but Alonzo has one, and it's and a completely he's now got a great studio that he's finished. I don't know if you know that. We should go over there pretty soon and hang out a little bit. But
Yeah,
he went through the iterations of different sounding rooms. And it's just like when we go to other studios and like he's playing tracks at other studios here in town, and it's just like amazing what he gets, especially on vocals. So Josephson, the E22S on toms, pretty crazy. Going down the list real quick, and that's another thing. When I'm selling mics, I desperately want the people to be able to, if depending on what their goals are or what their how many mics they want to buy, it's very important for me that they can balance that mic. So pair of C12s, great on everything. So everything. So piano, vocals, obviously, overheads, toms. But I don't know. I don't know if that's such a. I'd be interested in what you think in the comments, the 6 people who watch this video. I'd be very interested to see what you think about that as far as like balancing your mic collection. Because when it comes to a bunch of large diaphragms, you're mainly trying to get different flavors for different vocal styles. Microtech Gefell, Epic, M7 capsule, regardless of what you read online, still, and that's directly from Elizabeth Kuhnhast, who isn't necessarily directly involved at the moment, but they're still making the PVC recipe, so it's the real deal M7. Neumann, of course, Heiserman, Type 19 on drum overheads, unbelievable. And by the way, pick up.
Great mic for the money.
Yeah.
Worth far more than what you paid for that mic.
Yeah, it's the Hammer. And by the way, pick up the phone and buy a pair from PMT Audio. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Manly Gold, Crazy on vocals, of course. Are we leaving? AEA. I had Wes Dooley here in the shop, the founder of AEA. And Julie's taken over, and I wouldn't name, but I think manufacturers is okay. She is phenomenal. But I had Wes Dooley here for a trade show, and Ted was here recording.
That was epic.
Huh?
That was epic.
That was epic. And I learned so much about, like, when you have someone that's setting up mics that knows what they're doing, and just playing with the faders, and it's like, how awesome. Do you want this? We recorded everything to the tape machine, I believe, and then bounced it into the box for demo reasons, because a lot of people were, so we could loop stuff, I guess. Yeah, so the one of the things, and some things I'm going to keep close to my chest with, not just blabbing out, because maybe there's people watching this that are just salesmen. But I'll just let this one go. Actually, I won't. But when it comes to purchasing a certain AAA microphone, and I have another AAA alternative, and it's not the R44, so maybe you can guess. But I'm actually going to keep that to customers and not just throw my intel all over. But that's another thing that happens at the shop, because I'm agonizing over all these microphones and everything, and the value and the use cases, and I don't have to worry about like a certain brand, and then I also don't want anyone 5 years from now like, oh yeah, that Tick, he sold me this microphone, he told me it was good, but I've come to learn that and it's broken now, and I've come to learn that it doesn't sound like he said, you know. that can't happen actually here, because I'm fortunate enough to be an official dealer for the best microphones out there. Who did I leave out? Heiserman. Oh, let's go back to the Type 19. Crazy microphones on drum overhead and everything else, but particularly on drums. UM92.1S from Gefell, already. That's my favorite Gefell mic. That's another thing. Everyone has a, and this is cool because there's just a few U.S. Gefell dealers out there, and but they'll, you know, everyone knows about, I believe it's the UM71S, which has the M7 capsule in it. My theory on that is there was some U.S. distributor at some point, because everyone's familiar with that one, and they're like, Gefell doesn't really, yeah, bro, because you're not, you're not listening to the right mics. 990 is M990 is another Hammer, but UM92, crazy accurate and super vibey. Manly, who else is out there? Heiserman. I think I'm sure there's, unfortunately.
You have Chandler.
Chandler,
and,
Chandler Red, holy shnikes.
Yeah,
That thing is the Hammer. And so and I don't think there's such a thing as affordable, because an SM57 on vocals is great, and it's $99. So I hate to use the in a certain price range, but here goes. In the entry level for killer vocal mics, it's the Heiserman, the Chandler Red, and the Gefell UM92.1S.
I wouldn't count out the Heiserman Type 19.
Yeah, for vocals as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough time to test every use case.
Sort of a
Yeah, so there's a
I'm not gonna say which diamond, but it's
yeah, there's a relatively large um, percentage of singer songwriter artists that I sell to. Like let's say 30%, but still significant. And again, if that's the case, and you're wondering about uh, what the shop can do for you, um, that's the most difficult one. That would be the most reticent I would be for selling nationally, and and shipping like a great mic to someone who's a singer songwriter, uh, experienced singer songwriter that already has some nice microphones. But I would still, I guess, I would still do it because I'm fearless. But with the producers like and engineers, it's a lot easier because you ask them what mics they have, and then because I have listened to these mics for years, uh, with people who know what's going on and get their impressions. I feel way better about that. So I think, uh, Ted, I appreciate you, brother, and hopefully they could hear you on the video.
oh well, okay. Well, I'll speak up next time. But thanks for
No,
having me.
no, that's cool. And I'm wondering, uh, the title, "What Mic Should I Buy?" Call and let's talk. So that's the most important thing. Is uh, I'm not going to have an online store ever. I'm not going to um, uh, answer text or whatever, because my goal is for the people who are in that headspace. I want to help you and add as much value as I can to your production. Uh, it doesn't do me any good to just sell microphones to people who aren't interested, because they pretty much maybe won't appreciate it. That's been my experience. They won't appreciate it anyway. Um, I I've had situations where people would just tell me the craziest things. Not in person, but they're here, they're local, and they'll tell me over the phone. Well, I don't really think so much of the what. Oh, okay, bro. um, but the people who are seriously into it and they're making a living off of it, uh, that's where they desperately need to know the difference. One final thought before we wrap up. Another problem with local sales is if you go to demo at studios where there's problems with the vocal booth, there's no way to determine the difference between a Heiserman 251 and a $400 condenser, because the vocal booth has so much, like a 20 dB of 400 hertz buildup. So it's a ridiculous thing to do. Um, so that's another challenge. Uh, in our world, in our digital dystopian nightmare world that we've all been forced into against our will, I do have people on the phone where they'll ask me, "What about those panels on the wall?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about that. It's probably better to DIY so you learn as you go." Um, but yeah, what about those? And basically, you would need a quick lecture on wavelength. 60 hertz is a 5 meter wavelength, then a piece of crap foam in the corner that they sell, for a bass trap that 4 inches thick. That's really not going to help uh, with a 5 meter wavelength, a 5 meter buildup. So that's another thing that comes with community, and whether you buy from PMT Audio or not, I'm still like to think that I add value. But we can talk about room acoustics. My first national sale that came from this YouTube video, not this one obviously, but a previous one, uh, we've spent maybe a 2-ish hours on the phone. He's actually from another state, and he's actually going to come to the shop. And he bought a curve bender, a Chandler curve bender, and we're texting photos of our acoustic treatment back and forth, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking just to be to sell widgets. I'm looking to hopefully improve and add value into your personal journey as an audio engineer or producer or artist. And the world needs more producers, and the world needs more passion and more excitement and more kicking ass. And I think we're good, brother. I appreciate it. I love this format. You know, if you weren't working all day, maybe next time we'll, or I think I'm going to have people over and have these conversations. And the people that will be here will be curated. And there's 20 somethings that are phenomenal and awesome, and they're a force. And then there's people who have tons of experience, and everybody brings something to the table. All right, PMT Audio. If you've watched it, because this is a rambler, but I'm going to post it because I don't care. Thank you for hanging out this long, and let's just cut it off.